We're going to watch a new video. We're going to react to a new video that just came out like 2 days ago. It came out. Anyways, guys, I forgot to introduce myself. In case you're new, you don't know me. I'm Christina Sky. I'm going to react to a video by the one and only Jubilee called Is Eating Animals Wrong? Hunters versus Vegans. Middle ground. So I thought this was the perfect video for me to react to. So let's just go. I guess I always answer the question before I start the video. So is eating animals wrong? Yes, it is. Obviously, there's context. You got to take context involved. If you're on a desert island and there's literally nothing, and you're trying to survive, yeah, okay. If there's, I don't know, if you're in food deserts, if there's different situations, it's not exactly wrong per se. Obviously, in my mind, it's still wrong because I'm a vegan, but I understand the situation and what you got to do when a situation calls for it. But in the way we live in the Western world, mostly, obviously the Eastern world too, but I'm just going to talk about my side of the world, which is the Western world. We have shops filled to the brim with food every single day, ready for us, readily available for us. We have kitchens with fridges full of stuff. Wait, sorry, I thought I saw a spider. You know, we have all these things, all this convenient food. You know, we have everything easily handed to us, so it's wrong on our side of the world. We have no reason, no excuse to eat animals, I feel like. So I'm going to leave it at that before I make it super long like I normally do. And I'm going to start this video.
We believe that, find a way to make a difference in the world. But thank you again to Forage. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next time.
If we were all born like 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe. How would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm guessing she's a hunter.
I became vegan because I could
Vegan
no
Danny, what's
longer
up?
think about eating something that was once living and breathing.
The primary thing that keeps me vegan is just always the animal liberation. The idea that we are trying to push our ideas onto others. That stereotype I've experienced the most.
Hunting is a very hard concept for people to understand. I am in Texas, it's a lot more acceptable, even though being a woman who hunts, people still, have a really hard time with that concept.
I feel like a lot of people think vegans are more effeminate. People will question your sexuality oftentimes.
What's good, Dawn?
I grew up in a rural village, living off the land. The way we live is in total respect to the animals, and I think there's so much that people do not know about indigenous culture.
They only had 2 hunters, huh? Not many hunters. There's no male hunter.
My name is Danny. I'm queer, I'm vegan, and I'm multiracial.
Hi, my name is Don Marvens.
Multiracial.
I've been a vegan for coming on 6 years now. I'm a freelance
Me too.
photographer, and I recently moved to the LA area.
My name is Nina. I'm 24.
Nina, vegan too.
I've been vegan for coming up on 5 years now, and I'm a professional astrologer.
Wait, they're all kind of like, I feel like something must have happened in like 2015, 2016, because I feel like so many people were vegan around that time. And loads of people are now like 5, 6 years vegan now, so it's interesting. I'm actually going to do a reaction video where I look at an old video that basically shows what was happening at that time. It's called the 2015 vegan film. I'm going to go through all the years that I've been vegan and see what's up. And maybe look at older years when I wasn't vegan. We'll see what time is saying.
Hi, my name is Brittany. I'm Koyukon Dene from Alaska. I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I went to school in the California area, and I'm currently on a road trip visiting friends to learn whose land I'm on.
I am Carly. I'm from Texas. I'm a wife, a mom. I also do sales and marketing consulting.
The first prompt is, I care about animals' well-being.
Heck yeah.
All 4 of you agree.
I wonder if all of them... Oh, they all come. They all come. Okay. That's good. At least...
Is that surprising to y'all that 2 hunters walked over?
I would love to hear why. Yeah, I would love to hear.
Yeah.
Hunters have the utmost respect for animals. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to see.
Okay. I'm not going to put all hunters in one umbrella because I understand different cultures of hunters and stuff like that. However, hunters that I have seen on oh, no wonder it wasn't fitting in the screen. Duh. They're not the most respectful. They're not the most respectful. Or they don't really care. They're just not. Yeah. I'm sure you catch my drift. But I am interested to know what these hunters think and feel about animals and stuff. Because obviously being a vegan, you get taught and, you know, it's shared between the community. Like, if you eat or you kill animals, how can you care for them also? How can you say you care about them? How can you care for their well-being if you're killing them? It's like me saying, oh, I care about Duke, but I'm going to go kill him in a couple months because he's tasty, you know? Or it's like me saying, oh, I care about animals, but I'm going to go kill my family in a few months because, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe my eyes will be opened.
How can you love something and respect something that you kill? It's just a hard concept, right? Conservation is a big reason why I hunt. It not only provides food for my family, but I can shoot a certain number of deer each year, and that will keep that population and that herd thriving.
I guess I've never...
The thing with that is that, okay, there's something, sorry to keep breaking it. There's something similar in my area that they do. Okay, so the thing with the deer thing, I feel like the reason why humans then have to go hunting because there's too many deer eating all the greenery is because we kill and take away the natural predators. Now, the thing that I was talking about that's in my area, which kind of makes me sad, but at the same time, I'm glad it's this way. There's like a thing on the council website. I'm not going to say what council I'm from, but I don't know if all councils do this in London, but there's a lot of foxes in my area, and the way that they control the population of foxes, because we have a lot of them, because they have lots of food from the bins to eat, you know, they're living around people, it's very easy to live. Basically what they do, we have lots of greenery, lots of shrubbery around where the foxes can live and, you know, raise their babies and make nests and all that kind of stuff. So what the council does is that they will chop down certain parts of the shrubbery so it's exposed throughout different years. So this year they'll cut this side, leave this side, and then the next year they'll cut this side and then leave the other side. And the way it works is that it makes it so that the foxes will need to find a new space to hide and live. And naturally, because I think it's a thing where foxes don't like to live in close territory to other foxes. In my area, lots of foxes live near to each other. You see them all about. But a lot of times you'll have the mum with the babies. Then when the babies grow old enough, they have to go find their own territory, their own bit of land. And if there's not enough bits of land for them to go, they'll fight each other to the death, basically. And it's the natural cycle of it all. But I feel like when you have to have people actually doing the act of killing, that's where it's a bit like, you know, with the shrubbery thing, I feel like you're letting nature take its course. Essentially, in a way, it's still not perfect, but it's still not a human going out there and killing another animal. It's just foxes killing foxes. But when a human has to go out and start killing animals because they already killed the natural predators, it feels like it's so weirdly unbalanced and uncomfortable. Sorry, I'm going into this so much, and it's only been 4 minutes. I haven't even let them talk. Let's let them talk.
Really came at this conversation from like an angle of vegans versus hunters. Is always vegans versus a meat eater. Mm-hmm. So I understand in a sense the respect you have to what you're doing. I just know that I could never do that.
Yeah, and I think that for me is one of my maybe more bigger issues is not with vegans, but it's more people who eat meat but don't understand hunting. So you're gonna eat meat that was slaughtered at a factory. Right. But I can't just give a deer one swift, great bullet in the heart where it dies out where it's supposed to die.
I was one of those people that said I could never even be vegetarian. Like, I was probably like the people that you're describing, just, you know, not having a connection to what they're eating. I didn't think about it. And then as streaming services go, I found a little documentary through the suggestions.
But it changed your life.
And it changed my life. And like, I remember I went to brunch that morning and I had like sausage and egg and like fried cheese. And then that night I watched this documentary. And so that's why I'm vegan, because I can't support like us as an industry and as a populace, like removing the choice from that large of a swath of animal populations just because they're animals.
If there was a solution, like just the magic happens, the skies part, and all the meat is like done in a way that is humane, would that make you more inclined to eat meat?
I think that you sort of get into the fundamentals of like, is it humane to kill something? I have to understand and respect and honor that, like in indigenous cultures, you know, there's many reasons why people hunt. We would all be remiss if we didn't admit that, you know, at a time in human history, like we needed animal protein and animal meat to survive. But today, it's not necessarily a necessity.
I was being taught ethical hunting by an ethical hunter. And again, I think that's a harder concept here, because trust me, like they're asshole hunters. But that's what I saw conservation, and I saw ethical hunting, and I saw why we do it, and I saw the food. You know, I haven't bought beef, I mean, in 6-7 years.
Can I ask you a question that I'm kind of scared to ask?
And we'll see.
So you said that you're a mother, and if you think of like Bambi, do you ever consider the small baby animals that you're taking their parents away from them?
Okay. So Bambi doesn't exist. Right. That's a Disney movie. If a mom is there with her yearlings, you would never kill that mom, right? You wait until she kicks them out of the house.
And that's part of like ethical hunting.
That is like, yeah, no one really, like you wait until the babies are kicked out.
I learned from my Tlingit cousins, they're from the southeastern Alaska. They're the ones that invented the fish hook. It was so wide that only a full-grown halibut could get caught. It's a generational thought. You're not just thinking about, oh, I need food tonight. You're like, how do I make sure I protect their natural processes? When fish hooks are made now, anything can go out. So many of our pre-colonial traditions were staying in balance with animals, and we had so many practices that prevented overhunting. And the people who are living off the land, who are fighting for the land, are getting last priority. We're not allowed to fish if there's commercial fishing. We're constantly being watched and fined. It's constantly having land taken away. If you look at any community, it's constantly happening to them where they're told they're not allowed to do this or eat this. It's all connected, it's all a cycle.
See, that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's selfish, greedy people over here. Then there's who want to just make money from that system. And then there's people who, you know, it's necessary. And I personally get that. I get that there's vegans out there who are like, no animal should be killed, none of this, blah, 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 blah. But we live in a world where it's like meat-based, okay? And if the Western world, or the world that basically has cities and convenience stores and fresh vegetables and fresh food coming in every single day, if you have those places who are constantly 3 times, 4 times a day eating meat, then you are kind of basically putting, how was I trying to say this? You're basically not thinking about the people who are in situations where they need to eat meat to basically survive. If you watch Seaspiracy, for example, like, I just remember one of the scenes and I was upset about it. I was really upset about it. I was like, it was in Africa. There was like commercial fishing boats going through the coasts of Africa. and they were like in this tiny little canoe type boat thing or whatever you call it, and they're like swimming deep into the sea, so dangerous because it's like so far into the sea, and they're rowing their boats near to these massive boats because they want to get fish they want to ask for fish from the commercial fishing boats, and those commercial fishing boats are taking all their fish when they need that fish, you know, to survive and feed their families, because maybe, you know, they don't have the resources, they don't have the convenience we do in our side of the world, they don't have you know, they don't have the means, and we do have the means. Where like I've come to understand, like, if it's necessary, then okay. Yeah, it's upsetting, you know, that an animal has to die to kind of keep a human alive. It's very upsetting. But in that context, I understand that they need it to live, basically, and to survive and to keep their families healthy and living and fed. We on the other hand, on this side of the world, we do not need we don't need to eat all these animals. Like, as well, like she said, you'll catch only big fish, and a lot of times that big fish will feed many people, whereas over here you'll have one person eating a whole freaking tired fish and not even thinking anything of it, and you'll have people freaking doing eating competitions where they're stuffing burgers and hot dogs down their throat, and it's just like, sorry, I'm getting a bit upset right now. That's why whenever vegans get asked, if you're on a desert island, would you eat meat? And a lot of times you'll get an answer like, we're not on a desert island, okay? And if we were on a desert island and we needed to survive, that would probably be the solution, okay? But there's lots of people who are already living on a desert island or something similar, and there's so many people who have so much access to so many different types of food, and I just feel like it's selfish. And if you're thinking about the animals in that sense, yeah, it's as I said, it's upsetting and it's wrong, but I understand why people do it, and why it's, you know, we came from a time where we grew up with meat in our diet, you know, from our ancestors way back. It's been a thing for a long time, but I feel like now's the time to, you know, stop being selfish. I know it's not the word that people want to hear, but essentially it is being selfish, especially when you're eating it in so much excess. You're eating it, some people, as I said, are eating it 3-4 times a day. Look at how many animals do you think that is in 1 week? That's quite a few animals in 1 week. And the thing is as well, we're so wasteful as well. Like, we have fridges and freezers, and I watch people buy meat, even vegetables and stuff. I'm really bad with the vegetable side of things because it's just hard when you're like feeding yourself and you have all these vegetables come in massive packs. But I feel like I watch people who buy meat and it goes off, and they didn't even make the effort to eat it before. Like, you already bought it, so make sure you eat it. Like, I feel like, even though I don't like, you know, the eating of animals, I feel like if you bought freaking meat, that animal died and you're just going to go put it in the bin. Yeah? Eat that damn piece of meat if you're going to freaking buy it and eat it. Don't be chucking it in the bin. That's such not that I would ever want to eat that, but yeah. Sorry, this kind of stuff gets me emotional. It gets me upset. And but yeah, I feel like this is probably really good for some new vegans and some other vegans who probably don't think about those kind of people on the other side of the planet who are not living their lives like we are. And I understand that they hunt differently to other hunters that maybe still live in the Western world and kind of just do it as a sport or just do it for fun. Come on, why are you killing animals for fun? That's very sadistic.
Veganism is a privileged way of living.
It is.
If you have a choice of where you get to get your food and where it comes from, and even knowing about it is a privilege.
To have
It's true.
the choice to be vegan, that includes, makeup and clothing and all of these things. And, sustainable clothing, for example, is a top dollar if you're trying to buy it new. And thrifting is great, but some people don't even have access to that. And so I think that choice is a privilege and veganism is a choice.
I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and the fact that my parents were able to leave with me when I was just like 1 year old into the States, like really shaped how my life would go. The lifestyle that I'm living is such a stark contrast from the people down in the Caribbean.
I feel like I have to talk about how veganism, especially in the States and especially in like the global West, has been totally co-opted by I'm just gonna say it, by whiteness. Veganism shouldn't be a privilege in my opinion, but it is. Like the world that we live in now, it is.
I don't know enough about being a vegan. I think of it as like something that rich white people do, but I don't know. I don't know any vegans. I don't know how much money it costs.
Yeah, a lot of people also from lower income backgrounds or areas, they also rely on fast food. And that stuff is really cheap because, as far as I understand, the government subsidizes meat and animal products much more than it does vegetables.
When we think about someone who has to work a low-wage job to survive, you also have to think they're probably working more than one job, possibly. You want the easiest meals. You want the highest calorie meals.
If you watch my other video, I literally said these exact words. Our brains are one. I literally said exactly that. Oh my god, that's so weird.
It's because you're working and you're burning so many calories. So when you're saying, why don't you eat more plant-based, you're asking them to change their shopping habits, you're asking them to spend more time, you're asking them to educate themselves. And when you are working that hard, you have to numb yourself. You are eating to survive. That is different than choosing what you're eating.
Oh my god, sorry. That's so sorry. I didn't think that many other people thought that or thought about that side of things because I'm not exactly poor of the poor of the poor. I grew up in a working class family. We're not exactly rich of the rich of the rich. We're not even close to rich. We're working class, we get by. And even just being working class, when I used to work 13-hour shifts as a nurse, and then I'd go and work in Sainsbury's for the rest of the days that I wasn't working, and then I'd sometimes do overtime after I finished my shift at the hospital, and I feel like at that time, these times I was eating sugar at those times, and I kind of just needed to just throw something in my body, something that was just like a quick, like high. It was always something sugary most of the time. I just needed to pack it. I used to binge a lot, and I feel like a lot of times I think a lot of reasons why I ate a lot of sugar as well was because I was in that kind of work mode. I was just work non-stop. And it's probably resulting into why I'm sick now and why a lot of hard workers who work 60 plus hours end up being sick because of the stress that they put on their body. But yeah, I literally said this exact same thing. If you haven't watched my other video about should black people be vegan, I said exactly those words, exactly the same. It was like, it's true. It's like you just want calories, quick, cheap as well. You don't want to be spending more of the money that you freaking just made to kind of, sustain yourself. You don't want to be spending that much money. And plus, most of the time, you don't have time to be reading books or educating yourself or trying new things. And it's very true.
Totally. And it's not fair to ask any of those people in survival mode to completely shift their way of life and learn a whole new lifestyle. And I definitely agree with that. I'm just curious, if we were all born 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe. How would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm going to eat meat. I don't want to say there's no reason to not eat meat, but there's maybe no reason for me not to eat meat.
I get it.
I'm feeling judged.
I'm not judging, but I don't understand. I'll be honest, I don't understand.
I mean, like I still cry when I kill something. I mean, I love the animals, but they're still just animals. Like, it's okay to eat one. Everyone's been eating meat forever.
That's true.
You know, and
Did she just say they're still just animals? Sorry. It just... The thing is, do you know what? A big thing that made me connect to veganism was I related to animals in a way because I'm a female. Okay, when you grow up as a woman and you read about women in history, men, even other women, used to just say just that about women. Oh, it's just a woman. Women were seen as property. See, they're still seen as property in some states in America. Like, women all around, mostly around the world, were still seen as property up until about 30 years ago, or maybe a bit more than that now. God damn, I'm losing track of time. But I don't know, I just feel like I grew up as well feeling like property. Like a piece of meat, just like a thing, rather than just an actual person, an actual individual being. And I feel like animals are not seen like enough for what they are. And I really wish we would see them as more than just animals, or because we are just animals as well. Humans are animals. I think people just don't seem to don't want to connect that. They don't want people to be seen as animals. And it's always the hierarchy of humans are at the top. Okay, yes, we can talk. Yes, we're smart, blah, 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 blah. But there's so many other animals out there who are also talking and smart and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, There's
never been a culture ever that was 100% vegan. You know, they have shifted. They're plant-based and Mediterranean and Buddhist, and they have moved towards a culture who was 100% vegan. I don't think has ever existed.
It sounds like it's a natural order kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting to hear because I'm firmly of the belief that like we are animals. So for me, the natural order perspective doesn't hold a lot of water.
Do you guys have pets? Like, in other parts of the world, what you would consider your pet, some people would eat.
But that's there. I mean, like I don't eat my dog, and I hope nobody don't eat my dog. But that's, you know, I mean, I can't worry about someone in China eating dogs. Like we can all try to make the world a better place. And
it's interesting though, because it does kind of challenge the natural order perspective. Like,
where do you draw the line?
Right.
Something to think about in this conversation too is knowing that even when we eat plants, there's so many people that we're exploiting.
Yes.
The core of this, I think, is just having that respect for your food.
I
agree with the whole plant thing as well. And I think I said this in my other video as well. Go watch it. Go watch it. Oh my god, did I do a weird wink? I don't even know if I did a full wink, but I just tried. The whole plants argument about how it's exploiting people as well and other beings and other animals and stuff. It's true. It's 100% true. You know, people are exploited all around the world for plants and plant foods. The thing is, I feel that when it comes to veganism, as I said on that video, there's levels, you know. We haven't even broke I feel like we've slightly we've cracked the surface of getting people to just think about stop eating meat. And now I feel like the next level is you work on stopping eating meat, then stopping eating meat and dairy products and blah, 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 blah. Then you kind of go to being a vegan for a few years, then thinking about like probably also through those years you do the beauty products, you do the clothes, you do all this other stuff like the house stuff like leathers and sofas and all this kind of stuff. You go on that level of, okay, I need to start eradicating and fixing all that stuff. And then the next level up is like, now let's look into my fruits and vegetable situation. So for me right now, I've been vegan maybe nearly 6 years now, I think. I can't think of it right now. But I think it's nearly 6 years. And I'm in the process of stopping eating certain fruits, vegetables or reducing the amount I eat at the moment, because I know about things that have done to people in different parts of the world. For example, the avocado mafia. If you watch that documentary, goddamn. You know, I loved avocados. I used to eat them all the time. Then I had like a year where I just couldn't even look at an avocado. Then I started eating them again. Like I ate a couple and then I saw that documentary and I was like, okay, let's just stick to not eating them as much as possible. Like when I go out, I'll probably, if it's in my food, I'll be like, okay, cool. But I'm probably not going to buy them as much anymore. And the same with almonds. Like I used to buy almonds all the time. It was my snack. But now I kind of eat them maybe in things like, has this got almonds in it? This one doesn't have almonds in it, but stuff like this, they have almonds and stuff in some of them. Like I'll eat those, but I think that's my way of reducing it. I don't drink almond milk anymore. I don't really like it, to be honest. I like a coconut, even though I probably need to research that one too. But there's all different things I'm like going into, like as well, like my laundry as well. I've changed all that up. My beauty stuff, I've changed majority of that stuff up. I'm still using old stuff that I bought in bulk that is not like cruelty free or whatever. But do you know what I mean? There's levels. There's levels that you work towards as far as you want to go. But I feel like on the base level, to reduce a big chunk of harm and problems and issues for now in this time frame where there's so many people still eating meat, I feel like the best we can do for now is to cut out eating meat and dairy products and any animal products, and then obviously moving on to, you know, beauty and blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's true about the vegetables and the fruits, about it being exploitative, and you know, slavery is still happening in this day and age in these kind of industries, especially in the makeup industry. You should look it up. That's why you shouldn't buy so much makeup. But yeah.
I totally agree with that. I think it's such a falsehood when vegans say cruelty-free. Mm-hmm. The avocados that I eat, you know, were harvested by people that are being exploited. So,
do you guys consider hunting a privilege?
Isn't everything a privilege? To a point, right? A lot of people are going literally in their backyard, shooting something, processing it in their house, and putting it right on the table for their family. Like, that to me is beautiful. Hunting can be really expensive. You basically have to have a huge ranch, or you have to spend a ton of money to hunt on someone else's ranch. And then I think what a lot of people see are, right, the trophy hunters and the going over to Africa and hunting. I have not done that yet. That does not mean that I am not for it or against it. I do know that tourism in Africa is a huge moneymaker for them. I mean, those villages are really poor, and having an entire animal and multiple animals that hunters give them it's big for them.
My question with that would just be, why would it have to be a tourist? It kind of just sounds like the white savior complex narrative.
Because we're willing to pay a load of money.
I remember reading a statistic about like a single elephant in its lifetime.
She said it! Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. I'm so sorry. That's just funny. I'm kind of glad she said that, but do you know, it would be so much more simpler if you actually provided people over there with the resources and the education to help themselves, rather than going over and, as she said, the savior complex, and doing it for them. Like, if they need to hunt for food, let them hunt for food. teach them if they need to be taught. They probably know already. But if you want to provide them with extra resources that maybe they don't have or they can't get themselves, do so if you feel that way inclined. But when you're going out and hunting animals for people, you're kind of hindering their progress, you know? It's like babying people. It's like, why do you need to do it? Why do you need to be involved? Like, what's it got to do with you? Like,
Time can garner over $1 million.
but I do understand as well. She's thinking, like, in her mind, she's like, I'm helping the people. I get to do, maybe in her mind, I don't know. I don't want to assume, but I think a lot of those trophy people, like, they're like, oh, I can go and have fun and hunt this animal and then sell it to or give it to these other people who need food. But I get where she's coming from, but I don't know if I don't feel like she's being genuine about the situation. Like, it sounds like she said, I'm not going yet. She sounds like she's excited to go to Africa to kill animals, not about helping people. You know what I mean?
Dollars just from photographic tourism. One single elephant's ivory is about $21,000. So just that in itself, like, to me, is evidence that, like, non-violent tourism, like non-trophy hunting tourism, like, is just as lucrative, if not more lucrative, than trophy hunting.
Hunting is only acceptable if it's for food.
Hunting is only acceptable if it's for food. I think it depends where you're from. I'm just going to answer this first. I think it depends where you're from, because imagine there's an animal that keeps killing the people in your village and you're in a place where there's no one really around. You're in the forest or whatever. Let's just say imaginary scenario. You're in the forest. There's a bear that keeps coming and killing your people. You're going to go hunt that bear, right? To protect your people. Right? That's how a lot of predators in the freaking UK and stuff and other places like America, that's why there's so many prey animals, because we killed most of the predators who try and kill us or other prey that we want to kill, you know? So I feel like this sounds so bad, but if you have no other solution, do you just defend yourself? Is it called hunting? If you lived in the middle of somewhere and an animal kept trying to come and kill you, to survive, you're probably going to hunt that animal so that you can remove the threat. The only other reason I can think of as to why you would do hunting, it's not really acceptable, but it's acceptable if you know what I mean, to survive.
I agree with this.
Come on, Britt. I had to read
If this was asked first, I would have disagreed, but after hearing your story, it is necessary to an extent.
If you're hunting for food, then you're saying that your life is more important than that other animal's life, and that is more reasonable to me than saying that your pleasure or your trophy or whatever is more important than an animal's life.
There's also safety, which I now realize, and it's like almost 2 hours if you needed a medical emergency evacuation. So yeah, I don't know any killing besides safety and like food, and then we still try to make the most out of the body and the fur, and we'll try to like feed it to the dog team. So
There is just the biology of land, and there is biology of carrying capacity, and there's biology of how these animals have to be, taken care of. I know that if people are not hunting, those deer are gonna starve. There's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough shelter. So to me, I will take one for the team and I will shoot a few deer this year to keep the land in check and the ecosystem in check.
But if you didn't kill the predators, you wouldn't have so many prey. Put the predators back. Stop hunting them. That's the issue. People are just creating more problems for themselves. It's just simple logic. If you don't kill the predators will do their job and go and hunt and eat the prey that they need to survive. But if you kill the predator, then you have to now kill the prey because you need to play that role of the predator. because that prey will then be the predator for the land and all the other smaller animals and, you know, the plants. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree that maintaining equilibrium of an ecosystem is important. My question to that would be like, what's actually sitting at the root cause of the deer overpopulation? Is the root cause that people aren't hunting enough, or is the root cause that their land is being taken away? But me making assumptions, hunting is a Band-Aid solution.
Like, I wish I could answer a very smart and like, well, based on data that we've done. I mean, look at Los Angeles and Dallas, and like, where are animals going?
Right.
They're dying. You know, I mean, but what is the solution? I don't know.
The US, a lot of the times, has tried to decide what animals need to go or not without the guidance of indigenous people who have been doing this for thousands of years and who have relationships with the animals. There are solutions, there are people that know it, and we need to push people in power to uplift voices who have this knowledge.
My diet is healthier.
Mine is. I believe, compared to before.
Hey, girl.
Hey. The question is healthier than what? I chose to come up here because my diet is healthier than when I was not eating a vegan diet. I love a Beyond Burger. Is that healthier than eating rice, beans, and collard greens every day? No, it's not. Do I believe that eating plant-based is healthier than eating animal products? Yes.
And if you're super, super intentional and informed about what you're putting in your body, then it's gonna be healthier than someone who's not.
That's also healthier on an emotional and mental level. There's this detachment, this emotional detachment that you're going through when you're eating an animal, and that to me is emotionally unhealthy. I think awareness is one of the healthiest things that we can have.
I know if you like search veganism like online, especially on YouTube, you can see very dangerous vegan diets being like just told to like a massive audience of like young impressionable people. Like, but like Oreos are vegan, Twizzlers are vegan, and it's been 1 a.m. and I've downed a sleeve of Oreos. I'm just like, why did I do that?
Just wait till you're 30.
Yeah, I'm 24, so I feel like I'll just keep on kicking. I don't know.
Coming here, I want to be very careful in extremes. Like my meat is, my diet is healthier. I don't know that. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I believe the meat I eat is better than what you would get at McDonald's. I just think it would be so hard to be a vegan. Like, it seems like so much work.
There's a learning curve.
It's not hard in the grand scheme of things. I feel a lot better putting in the work because I feel more empowered, I guess you could say. The definition of veganism is just as far as what is practicable and possible. It's all about doing your best.
Hey, thank you.
That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. Look at them. What about COVID, huh? What happened to COVID? Why are they hugging? What happened? Okay. That was Jubilee. Jubilee. I hope I'm allowed to react to this video. Good video, Jubilee. Good video. Interesting video. They kind of agreed in the sense of eating animals is wrong in certain contexts, certain situations. I didn't feel upset about this. I didn't feel like, oh, you're insensitive or you're annoying or you're like selfish or anything. But yeah. What do you guys think? Is eating animals wrong? Do you think we should just go outside and start hunting all the foxes down and eating them? Should we keep killing billions and billions of cows, chickens, and fish just so we can have something on our plate? What do you think? I don't think so, but it's not up to me to control the entire world. I cannot do such a thing. It was an interesting video and I'm happy I got to react to that video. I'm happy they made it. So yeah, check out Jubilee if you want to see more of their videos. They got so many good videos and they have more vegan topics. I think I reacted to one of the other ones a while ago. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what you think. Tell me what you think. And I will see you in the next one. Love and light.